For thousands of years, the Galactic Empire had believed one thing above everything else. Nothing could reach them without permission. Their borders were protected by millions of sensors, powerful defense stations, and the strongest military fleet in the galaxy. Every planet under Imperial control trusted their protection. Every enemy feared their power. The Empire was untouchable. But on a quiet day near the Imperial capital, something impossible happened. The alarms did not scream. The defense systems did not attack. The soldiers did not know what to do, because an unknown warship was already there. It was floating just outside the capital planet, closer than any enemy ship had ever reached. Inside the Imperial Command Center, hundreds of officers stared at the giant screen. Nobody spoke. Nobody moved. The ship had no identification code, no known energy signal, no communication request. It was just waiting. Admiral Varek, the leader of Imperial Defense, looked at the data again and again. His face slowly changed from confidence to confusion. "How do we not detect it?" he asked. No officer had an answer. Their technology could track ships from across entire star systems. But this vessel had crossed their strongest defenses like they did not exist. The younger officers believed it was a new enemy weapon. But an old historian inside the command room noticed something strange. The shape of the ship, the design, the symbol hidden on its side. His hands started shaking. "That is impossible," he whispered. Everyone turned toward him. "What is it?" Admiral Varek demanded. The old historian looked at the massive ship outside the window. "It belongs to humans." The room became completely silent. Humanity, a name the galaxy had almost forgotten. A species that the Empire claimed had disappeared a century ago. The Empire had destroyed human records, erased their history, and told everyone that humans were gone forever. But now, a human warship was standing at their doorstep. And the most terrifying part was not that it arrived. The most terrifying part was that it arrived without anyone knowing. The Imperial Command Center remained silent after the discovery. Nobody wanted to believe what they had just heard. Humans were gone. That was the official truth. For 100 years, every Imperial school, every military report, and every history record said the same thing. Humanity had vanished. But now, a human warship was floating near the heart of the Empire. Admiral Varek ordered the defense fleet to move immediately. "Send our best ships," he commanded. "We need to know what we are facing." Thousands of kilometers away, Imperial battleships surrounded the mysterious human vessel. The alien commanders felt confident again. They believed the ship was old technology left behind by a forgotten species. A mistake from the past. A dead civilization's final machine. Captain Rul of the Imperial fleet laughed when he saw the human ship on his screen. "One old ship against our entire fleet?" he said. "This is not a threat." The Imperial ships activated their scanners. They searched for weapons. They searched for engines. They searched for weaknesses. But every scan returned the same message. Unknown. The officers became nervous. Their advanced systems could analyze alien technology in seconds. They had studied thousands of species across the galaxy. But this human ship gave them nothing. No information. No weakness. No explanation. Then something even stranger happened. The human warship moved. Only a few meters. A small movement. But every Imperial ship suddenly lost connection with their targeting systems. The commanders looked at their screens in shock. The human ship had not attacked. It had not fired. It had simply moved. And that was enough to confuse the most powerful fleet in the galaxy. Inside the human ship, a single figure watched the Imperial fleet surrounding him. The human captain did not look angry. He looked disappointed. After many years of silence, humanity had finally returned. But the first thing they saw was the same arrogance they remembered. The captain touched the communication panel and prepared to send a message. A message that would reveal why the human warship had come, and why the Empire should have been afraid from the beginning. The human captain looked at the Imperial fleet surrounding his ship. Thousands of enemy vessels filled the darkness of space. But he was not afraid. He had seen this before. Not these ships, not these faces, but the same pride. The same belief that power meant they could control everything. Inside the Imperial Command Center, Admiral Varek finally received the human message. The screen showed a simple human symbol. Then a calm voice appeared. "We are the last warning you ignored." The words created confusion across the Empire. Admiral Varek stepped forward. "Human vessel, explain your presence." Humanity disappeared a century ago. For a few seconds, there was only silence. Then the human captain answered. "No, humanity did not disappear." The Imperial officers looked at each other. "We left." The statement shocked them. The captain continued. "When your empire broke the peace agreement, you expected humanity to fight until nothing remained. You expected us to fall." The screen changed. Old images appeared. Ancient human cities, human fleets, battles that had been removed from every Imperial history file. The Empire had not defeated humanity. They had pushed humanity away. The old historian inside the command room watched the images with tears in his eyes. He knew the truth. The Empire had hidden the real story. Humans are not weak. They were the reason many ancient enemies stopped attacking the galaxy. But after years of war, humanity made a choice. They left. They traveled beyond known space. They built. They learned. They became something the galaxy had never seen. Admiral Varek looked at the human ship again. "One ship," he whispered. The captain heard him. "Yes. Where is the rest of your fleet?" The human captain looked toward the stars. Then he answered calmly. "You are looking at it." The Imperial officers laughed nervously. They thought he was bluffing. One ship could not defeat an empire. But then their sensors detected something impossible. The human ship was not alone. Far beyond the edge of their scanners, hidden in the darkness, thousands of unknown signals appeared. The Empire had spent a century searching for enemies. They never realized the greatest force in the galaxy had been watching them, and humanity had finally returned. Fear slowly spread through the Galactic Empire. For the first time in hundreds of years, Imperial commanders did not know what they were facing. The human ship remained silent near the capital. It did not attack. It did not move. It simply waited. To many Imperial leaders, that silence felt like weakness. Emperor Kale believed fear was spreading because of uncertainty, not because of danger. "A single human ship cannot challenge the Empire," he said during the emergency meeting. Some officers agreed. They believed humanity was trying to scare them. They believed the old human stories were nothing more than legends. The Emperor gave the order. "Prepare the Imperial fleet." Millions of soldiers received their commands. Thousands of battleships moved into position. The largest military force the galaxy had ever seen aimed its weapons at one human warship. Inside the human vessel, the captain watched the Imperial fleet approach. His crew waited for his command, but he did nothing. A young human officer looked worried. "Captain, they're preparing to fire." The captain looked at the screen calmly. "Let them." The Imperial fleet launched the first attack. Thousands of energy weapons crossed the darkness. The entire galaxy watched. But before the weapons reached the human ship, something happened. They stopped. Every attack froze in space. The Imperial commanders stared in disbelief. Their strongest weapons were completely useless. The human ship had created a barrier that their technology could not understand. No explosion, no battle, no damage, just silence. Admiral Varek felt his confidence disappear. "How was this possible?" he whispered. The human captain finally opened communication. His voice was calm. "You still think this is a battle?" The Imperial leaders listened carefully. The captain continued. "You're trying to destroy something you do not understand." The screen showed the human ship's real power. Hidden systems activated. The old vessel was not old. It was a machine built from centuries of human knowledge. Then the captain delivered his final warning. "We did not return because we wanted war." A pause filled the room. "We returned because you forgot why you feared us." The Imperial fleet remained frozen in space. For the first time in history, the strongest military force in the galaxy had no answer. Their weapons failed. Their technology failed. Their confidence failed. Inside the Imperial Command Center, Emperor Kale stared at the human ship with anger and confusion. "How can one vessel have this power?" he asked. Nobody answered, because nobody knew. The human captain opened another communication channel. "This ship is not a weapon," he said. The Imperial officers looked surprised. The captain continued, "It is a memory." The screen changed again. The Empire saw thousands of records from the past. They saw forgotten battles. They saw destroyed planets. They saw the truth that had been hidden for generations. The Empire had not protected the galaxy. It had controlled it through fear. Many peaceful civilizations had asked humanity for help when the Empire attacked them. But humanity refused to become another ruler. Instead, they left. They traveled beyond a known galaxy and promised never to return unless the Empire threatened the balance again. Admiral Varek looked at the old records in disbelief. All this time, we were told humans were defeated. The human captain answered, "You were told what made you feel powerful." The words hurt more than any weapon. Across the galaxy, other alien races watched the broadcast. They saw the truth. They saw how the Empire had erased history. The same species they called primitive had protected countless worlds long ago. The same species they tried to forget had returned. But not for revenge. Not for control. The human captain looked at Emperor Kale. "You thought destroying our history would destroy us." A short silence followed. "But humans do not live only in ships or planets." The captain looked at his crew. "We live in what we remember." The Emperor finally understood the danger. Humanity was not powerful because of its weapons. Humanity was powerful because it survived. Then a new message appeared on every Imperial screen. A message from the hidden human fleet beyond the stars. Only 4 words appeared. "We have been watching." The words appeared across every screen in the galaxy. "We have been watching." For a moment, nobody moved. The Galactic Empire, a power that had ruled through fear for centuries, finally understood the truth. Humanity was never gone. They were waiting. Emperor Kale looked at the human warship outside the capital. The ship that he believed was weak. The ship that he believed was alone. Now he understood his mistake. It was not an attack ship. It was a reminder. The human captain sent one final message to the Empire. "We did not return to take your worlds." The Imperial leaders listened carefully. "We did not return to become your rulers." A pause followed. "We returned because every civilization deserves the right to choose its own future." Across the galaxy, alien planets began sharing the truth. Old records were restored. Hidden stories were revealed. The species that once feared humanity started to understand them. Humans were not monsters. They were not conquerors. They were survivors. The Empire had spent generations teaching everyone to fear human strength. But nobody understood the real reason humanity was dangerous. It was not their technology. It was not their ships. It was their memory. They remembered every promise, every betrayal, every mistake, and they never allowed history to repeat itself. Slowly, Imperial worlds began turning away from the Empire. The control that took centuries to build started falling apart in days. The human fleet never fired a single weapon. They did not need to. The truth was stronger than any missile. Months later, the human warship left the Imperial capital. Many believed humanity would disappear again. But this time, the galaxy knew the truth. Humanity was not hiding. Humanity was watching. And whenever the galaxy needed them, they would return. Because the greatest power of humans was never their ability to win wars. It was their ability to stand back up after losing everything. And on that day, the galaxy finally remembered the species it tried to forget.